All right, time for the Daban perfect grade exias. And starting off with the repair, and man, was this an interesting build for the most part. I really did like it. I didn't really have too much bad about it. It's a very simplistic build. Nothing too much harder than I would expect, other than keeping the wiring harness organized. It did try to make you do the standard build everything at the same time. I like the way I did it, which was build parts individually and get them all set up. It's kind of what I'm doing with the PGU at the moment. But I think the hardest part so far on doing the two exias that I did was keeping everything organized and having all the manuals available. But having all the parts that I did put 2 shields on him. The legs did come with solid legs. I decided to put the clear legs on, which you can see pretty clearly. Just because I wanted to go for bang for my buck with this kit. I didn't want to be robbed of my experience of having all the LEDs working, because I'm going to be installing them anyways. Why not get what I paid for? But other than that, I mean, pretty decent. I do like the alternate eye and face set. Looks really good. I'm not really having any of the issues most people had. They stood up on their own. He's able to hold those swords pretty well. Not having really too weak limped or wristed on him. They are heavy, don't get me wrong, those swords are heavy, but he's holding them up pretty good. We did lose one piece of the shadow cloak. It kind of fell off. I gotta glue it back into place. We did have some structure failure with some adhesives that weren't very nice, but that was my fault. But getting the cloaks on there and making them look cool was the hard part. On to Avalanche. This was a weird one. There's a lot of odd parts on it. I mean, you can see, once again, keeping that leg LED, because if I'm getting my LEDs, I'm getting what I paid for. I'm not going to be covering them up. I did like the shoulders. We don't have the big knees on him. I didn't really like the big knees, but those big shoulders were actually really good. Those shoulder binders look great. Kind of see the arm, but I kind of kept him in the Avalanche format because it looks good. The dash knees I'm not the biggest fan of the dash knees. I have him with the sleds deployed, kind of in a landing position. But overall, that striking look that the exia Avalanche has is insane. Got the dual glaives since I did have 2 kits, as I stated before with the repair. We had a lot of extra parts, and that's kind of why I will say this now. The Daban kit is the price to value and definitive version of the PG exia. Do not waste your money buying the Bandai kit. You are getting completely ran over. For the cost of one of these is half. For buying 2 of these, I paid about what I would have paid for an exia lighting kit, which is around $450. Where I got both of these and them looking as amazing as they do for the same price as buying one. And there's no comparison. That's the biggest thing I want to put forward in this review. Is I had a great time. Everything worked great. The legs, everything was awesome. But don't buy the regular release.